Hi, my name is Jade and this is How to App on iOS, and I hope you're doing okay. Today I'm checking out FM Zone by ToyBox Audio, so let's Oj! FM Zone by David Alexander of ToyBox Audio is an easy-to-use polyphonic synthesizer plugin with sophisticated FM and sample engines and a bank of flexible multi-segment envelopes to shape the sound in any direction you desire. It's perfect for huge FM basses and cutting leads with a streamlined interface for endless inspiration and experimentation. It is available on the iOS App Store for $9.99 and is an iPad-only app. You can also grab it on the desktop at the time of recording this video for $32, normally $64. So now let's check out a demo. Okay, so let's check out how this thing works. I'm currently working in AUM, the brand new updated AUM, and it's looking very sweet. Let's open up FM Zone here, and it is looking very sweet. Look at this new layout. You can have this full screen and go in here and change, maximize full screen, custom. I'm really digging this already. But here we are with FM Zone. Now, if you've used any of the other two ToyBox audio apps, which is Thump 1 and Buzz Zone, you'll notice it's a very similar layout here. In fact, almost exactly the same. New color scheme, that's the thing that's going on here. Personally, I don't like the color. I would like the option to choose my own color. That would be great going forward because I like black. What can I say? Black like the darkness in my heart. But let's check out how this thing goes. I'm going to hit a few keys because FM synthesis always reminds me of old school 80s arcade games like Outrun and stuff. You know what I mean? So let's go from the top. We've got a little dice up here in the top left-hand corner. Of course, we're going to come back to that a little bit later. Here are our presets, and there are so many of them. It is just ridiculous. You know, you are going to get lost in presets. For $10, you can't really complain about a lack of presets, different kind of things in here, plucks, rhythms, sequences, keys, leads, hits, effects, drums, bass, strings, synths. You've got an init preset that you can come back here. It'll bring it back to the default. Also, you can manage your presets down here as well. Load, export, import zip files, randomize a preset, mutate a preset. So you can actually randomize a preset and then mutate it further from there. You get what I mean. So there's the presets. We'll go through a few of those later on. Undo, redo, we've got a volume in here as well, and we've got this little kind of mini settings in the top corner. MIDI learn, I think you know what that is. You can click it, MIDI learn to a keyboard or controller, whatever you want. Reset the MIDI learn if you want to clean it all out. Enable OSC, show keyboard. So you can show the keyboard from here, takes a second, and there's the keyboard. You can also turn that off by clicking this little keyboard button here, and that'll get rid of it. Most of us are going to have that turned off, but it's nice to have it there. We've got an oscilloscope, which is for your envelopes, because each of these sections here have their own envelopes. Dynamic knobs, let's cover this. So when you turn dynamic knobs on and you drag your finger or cursor, now you'll see how slow that is to turn that knob. It's really slow. But if I turn that back on or unclick it off and now drag, it moves a lot faster. So if you really want to get fine-grained tuning of your knobs, then I suggest you go on and turn on the dynamic knobs. You've got a manual and you can go to the website. That website is where you can buy the desktop version. There will be a link in the description. So what exactly is this thing? Well, each of these, so it's an FM synthesis. It's got a whole bunch of operators as well. You've got pitch, shape, spectrum, timbre, filter, and your level. Underneath that, you have some subcategories. So you've got a sub, you've got a detune. This is our algorithm select for the operators for the FM synth. You have a ratio, yes, for the timbre, and resonance for the filter underneath, and this is a distortion. So not only do you have this section here, the synth section, but you've also got a sample section over to the right, pitch, filter, and level, and underneath the sample engine, the three underneath are detune, of course, a resonance, and I think that's the FM depth. So it sets the amount of FM style modulation. Yeah, style modulation. There we go. And so while we're down here, before we click anything else, you can choose your samples from here. So there's a whole bunch, again, a whole bunch of samples that are already installed for you. So it's not like they're just leaving you high and dry. Look at them all. Kicks, metallics, noisy, stab, super saws, synthetic, vocals, woody, basic waves, bass blown. So there's heaps. You can choose a random sample, or you can import your own samples. You can drag and drop samples as well. So if you bring up a side pane and from your files and drag in, you can do that as well. You just drag that into this section here. You can turn off this. Same with the synth. It's got an on and off button. I'll just make myself disappear there. You can see the on off button. You see it lights up when it's on. Hello, I'm back. So there's that. Let's just quickly run over down here as well. So we've got these operators I mentioned here, yeah? So this is your FM synthesis, and you can see when I turn this, it's changing from like F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6. So I think that, I'm not sure exactly how many, there's like 20 odd or 30, 20 different FM operator styles. Now, how do you see those? Because this is great. Like I can keep hitting a note here. I'll just bring the level down a little bit. But you can actually get in and change this as well. So there's a little pencil down here at the bottom. Now, if I click that, this is going to bring up the operator section. And you can see when I turn this now, it's going through the different styles of operators. And you can see we've got a layout here. And you can even go in here and change the levels of each of these too. So and you can turn them on and off individually, I do believe, yes. So you've got little on-off switches here. So you can change these to your heart's desire. There's a hell of a lot of customization under the hood with this. Now you can change these with left and right keys up here. Flick through them. It's the same as going through the knobs down here and turning it that way. So multiple ways. You want to close out of this, hit the X, yoink, we're out of there. But not only that, next to the pencil, we have a sound section. So you've got individual synth sounds as well. And again, analog, bass, bell, brass, drum, keyboard, miscellaneous, noisy, percussive, plucks, resonance, special, spectral, strings, super saw, thin, woodwind, and you can, you've got an init sound in here as well. You can save, import. It's very, very customizable. Plus, you can do the same thing with the randomized sound. And then once that's in here, mutate from there with a mutate sound. Pretty wild stuff. All right, let's talk about these envelopes. Yeah, so each of these, this pitch, shape, spectrum, timbre, filter, level, and the samples section has their own envelopes up here. So as I flick through them, just to show you the change. So here's your envelopes. You can double tap anywhere to draw in a dot, draw in another one, go wild. It's up to you. And now when you see I flick to shape, it's back down here. So I can just do that just to show you the differences. And we can do for this one. There we go. So we've got a curve. So you can see flicking through these, you have your own individual all right, so things can get pretty cuckoo. Like, if you know what I'm saying. You want to reset any of these? Well, double tap, and it's going to come back down. Here's what's nice. See, this is why I kind of don't like the color of this. I find seeing things is a little bit hard. Like, I don't know, I would like the option to change the color scheme a little bit more, but there's an arrow over here, just there it is, just up there where I've got my mouse. And when you click on here, you also have been given a whole bunch of presets for shape sizes for your envelopes. You've got all these ones in here: sign, envelopes, randoms, sequences. So let's just throw one of those in. Right? Pretty damn neat. You've got some stepped ones. It's rad. Randomize. So you want to create some absolutely chaotic stuff. Then you can mutate. So let's show you the mutate from here. See how it slightly changes it a little bit, just mutates it a little bit. Lovely. And if you come in here, we can init this as well back to 0. So that's in the manage envelopes. You can enable snapping from in here, reverse an envelope. So if we come in and do a sequence, something like that, we can come in now and hit reverse, and that'll reverse it. And we can also flip the envelope as well. So easy. And this can be done on any of these sections. Any of them. Let's come back to our pitch. That's where we got this wonky one here, and we'll make this a little tamer. It's probably a little bit wild at the moment. All right, now that we have something rocking there, you can change the speed. So we can, up the top here is our main control. So now this speed is going to be the overall speed for the whole thing. So we can bring this right down. All the way. Or you can turn it up all the way. So what do we got? 20 milliseconds. It's so fast you can't even see it. And there's a little drop down arrow there as well. So you can have this off. We've got free, retrigger, locked, pitch, chaos. So totally up to you how you'd like to do that. We've got an attack and decay for creating your pads, obviously. Release. Think you know what that means. Let's bring that pitch down. Double tap anywhere and that will set back to the original settings. Now here, our overall pitch. And here, this is like a chorusy widening. It's a widening stereo effect. So let's turn that up. And lastly, up here we have a reverb and a bunch of other effects as well. So we've got a reverb set. And they're quite generous. So, you know, a whole bunch of reverbs all the way down to big space. And then lastly, there's a bunch of other effects. We've got a chorus, phaser, flanger, wave folder, distortion, and an echo. Echo. Nice. Let's just put this on like a large shimmer. Over here up the top corner, we have our main settings. So this is where MIDI resets oscillators, samples follow pitch, stereo algorithms, legato, so you want to go mono with your glide as well. You've got polyphony. You can turn this up as high as you want. Now, the one thing I will let you know, look, I've only got one instance of this running here. It's sucking some DSP, 37, 38%. It's a bit of a hog. As you probably saw from the demo I did at the start, I had 4 of them running. It was getting up to 90. So there's that. That would be cool if we could maybe get a smaller footprint in the next update. If there's any way you can weave some magic, ToyBox, and make it a little bit easier to have more running. But there's always ways around that, you know what I mean, by using it in a door and then freezing, whatever you want. So you do have a high quality filter down here as well too. So if I turn this up, turn it on. Filters follow pitch. You can change the bit depth as well too. That's all up to you, how you like it. 64. Completely up to you, my friends. Here's where the modulation is. So you can see here, velocity to volume. So here we've got like pitch to ratio, mod wheel to timbre. So you can click on any of these and I can put my mod wheel to resonance if I want. And the way to activate is just to turn it up here. And then your mod wheel is doing that. You've got an arrow here so you can decide which way you want that to run. And yeah, you've got all these options here for pitch wheel to filter, but you can come in and choose whatever you want here for your modulation. So that's where you find your modulation table. Pretty easy, pretty similar. As I said, it's very, very similar to previous Thump one. And the other zone, Buzz Zone. The other one, Buzz Zone. All right, let's talk about the filters as well. So here are your filters, filter and resonance. Click down here, you got a crap ton of filters to add here. So for pole, ladder, OTA, all these filters. You've got a comb filter, crusher, there's even a ring modulation, wave folder, and a chorus down there as well. You get those same options in the filter that is in the sample section also. Not as many, but still a selection of filters too. Really good stuff. Let's go through. So that's our pitch. As we mentioned, you've got a sub here. So when you turn up that sub, you can hear what a difference that is. There is another drop down menu here where you can choose from sub minus 12, minus 24. Oh, that's booming, isn't it? Nice. You got a triangle, saw, square, AM, FM, ring modulation, vibrato, some noise. You want to make some drums, mod noise, chaos. Let's go with the middle sub. So we've also got our shape here. So this is warps the output of the FM operators. And underneath that is a detune. Spectrum controls the amount of FM modulation in the algorithm. And these are your operators. Our timbre controls the current algorithm. And this is the ratio. Your filter, of course. Resonance, level, and distortion. So, as I said, you can change sounds. Lots of sounds. We've got some bells in here. Let's turn off that synth. So now I'm playing keys. You can see they're registering each time I play, but we're not getting any sound. So let's turn on our sample over here. We need to load something in. So we've got a whole bunch of noise stuff. Again, sample pitch. So we've turned back on our synth again. We've got a detune for the pitch on the sample. Again, select if we want to go crazy in a basic shape. Filter, resonance. Bring back in our synth. Evil sounding. So we've got our FM depth here. Turn down this synth. Also, just before we move on, go through some presets. Now you should know how to work this thing, get an idea. Remember, each of these sections along the top here, you get your own envelope to do with what you want to. So up the top here, let's come back to, where were we? This one. This little arrow here, when you hold down on it, this introduces like a double timing effect. And you'll see there's a little ×1. You can drag this up. Let's come over to this first pitch. We'll bring on this synth here. You can see that speed up, so it's like a ×25 at the moment. Nice. Let's talk about randomization. Boom. So you can see this randomized preset we've created. It's got a very long attack. Another one with a long attack. You can change that as you like. Now it's going to randomize stuff in here as well too. So we've got a glide attached at the moment to this. But you notice what it isn't randomizing is these down here. Let's hit our default init preset. We're back here. And we'll run through some random sounds and get out of here for today. What do you think about that? So there's lots of bass sounds. Reminds me of everything Sega, yeah. So Sega, it's just ridiculous. So have you ever wondered what the Sega synths were? Pretty much FM synths, my friends. Again, super Sega sounding. So there were some bass sounds. We got some lovely bells in here as well. I'm going to just throw on an effect. Let's throw on some, let's throw on some revolve. And I know there's effects built in there as well, but this is the beauty. It's an AUv3. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to do it my way. We'll put on some historical halls. I really do love this hall here. Do they know it's Christmas? So not only are these sounds FM synthesis, the sound of Sega video games, big sound of the 90s, yeah? You got some brass sounds in here, of course you do. Drum sounds. Effects. There's plenty of effects in here. Sounds like a Warner Brothers cartoon. Yeah, look, there's no doubt. The amount of customization of this thing is just definitely not something I can cover in just a very short show here. Some keys, lots of keys here. Of course, there's a DX100. Leads. Charlie Brown's Teacher, this one's called. So you can see the velocity set to volume here. We've got this one set, velocity set to filter, some slight filtering there. Aftertouch, sub-level. For your modulation. Miscellaneous. Lots of pads. Nice organ, plenty of plucks. So I think you get the idea. We've got some rhythmic stuff in here too. So just by holding down, single key. Sequences. Some strings. And a bunch of synths. Pretty nice stuff, I think. All right, let's auge. So that is the incredibly powerful and versatile FM Zone by ToyBox Audio. Grab it for $9.99 on the iPad and also on the desktop from ToyBox Audio's website now. Are you enjoying the content here on the channel? Well, please let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, do me a solid and smash that like. Hit the subscribe and ring the bell to keep up with all of the latest app demos and live streams. You can also support the channel by becoming a member or even a Patreon via the links below. Okay, time to get out of here. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together. Stay awake and let's auge.